Guys, the bell is totally going to ring and interrupt me, so just don't worry about that. Alrighty, so we're going to start talking about the last form of a line that we need to learn for our linear equations chapter. So if you're following along and taking notes with me, in our table of contents, we are going to add standard form, which again is the last form of a line that we can write. These are all just like different ways you can write a linear equation. And that's going to be on page 59 and 60. Now, if you are doing it just in the packet that I gave to you in class, starting from the top, so this is the front page, you can be filling out the table of contents with us, like I'm doing here, but you're going to be on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th page in. So starting on the 11th page, we have the standard form. I'm sorry, I think this is actually the 12th page. Oh my gosh, I should recount. And then this one here, which is standard form, the one right after it. And then the one right after that as well is also standard form. So I'm going to be using all three of those. Not in this video, but that's where you're going to want to start. Okay. So 59 and 60. So again, I guess just to be super clear, guys, I'm going to start on 59 and do this page right here, which again in the packet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is the 13th page. Okay, so the 13th page in that packet is where you're going to want to start, right here. Now, when it comes to any form of a line, we want to be really good at kind of three things, but mainly we've been talking about how to write the equation and how to graph it. The third thing is the story problem stuff, which we're going to get into a little bit more now, but not totally yet, okay? So, firstly, standard form looks like this: ax plus by equals c. And the important thing to know about standard form, or the important thing to notice, is that x and y are together on one side, and then on the other side over here, it's just a single number by itself. Because again, you guys, there's a lot of crazy letters here right now, but A, B, and C are all going to be replaced with numbers. So C will just be a number, and there won't be any letter over there. The letters X and Y will be together on one side, no parentheses, and then a number on its own will be on the other side, okay? Now, the unfortunate thing about standard form is that A, B, and C don't tell me anything about the graph. When I'm in slope-intercept form, I can easily see the slope and I can easily see the y-intercept. And the same thing is true when I'm in point-slope form. I can easily see the slope and I can easily see a point, and so I can graph really efficiently. A, B, and C, they ain't anything. It's not slope, it's not a point, it's not nothing. It's nothing. It's super unhelpful when it comes to graphing and also writing the equation. So if I have something in standard form, I have to find the slope. And so by finding the slope, I need to get y all by itself, and we end up getting that slope, or m, in this case here, is going to be negative a divided by b. So that just means whichever numbers I have in front of x and whichever number I have in front of y, I'm going to divide the two and make it opposite to get the slope. Now, when I'm trying to write something in standard form, it's kind of like mathematically appropriate for a to be positive and a whole number So like not a fraction, not a decimal. And that's kind of true for all of them. So down here I said that A, B, and C must be, they must all be whole numbers. So no fractions, no decimals allowed. Which is kind of nice, like, because, I mean, nobody likes decimals. Gross. Fractions are nice, but, I mean, to not have to deal with them is even better. The problem is they don't often come that way, so you have to change things so that there aren't fractions or decimals. So, for instance, I might want to write something in standard form, but unfortunately, I can never automatically put something into standard form. I'm always going to have to change it from another form. So for instance, I might be given the slope is 2, and then the y-intercept is like -5. If they give me the slope and the y-intercept, I actually want to put it in slope-intercept form, which is our y equals mx plus b. So in this case, we'd have y equals 2x minus 5. However, if they want it to be in standard form, I need for the x and y to be together on one side, and right now they're not. So we just have to do a little switcheroo and bring the x over here with y by doing the opposite. So I'd have to subtract it both sides. Now, they are not like terms here, so we're just going to write it all out. And when we write it all out, we want it to look like standard form, which is in alphabetical order. So -2x, and then a positive, so plus y equals -5. And now this is basically in standard form because we have x, then y, then a number. But we have to follow these pesky little mathy rules that says a must be positive and a whole number. Well, it is a whole number, but it's not positive. So to change it, I just have to make it negative or make it opposite. But if I do that to one thing, I have to do that to all the things. Like whatever you do to one number, you got to do to all the numbers. So I'm really just going to multiply everything by -1. Then we'll have a positive 2x like I wanted, a negative y, and then a positive 5. And there you go. Now, it's even trickier, or not trickier, but I guess maybe more work if I have to put it in point flip form first and then change it to standard form. So I'm going to put something in point flip form if they tell me the slope, so maybe half, and then they give me a point, like 4, -1. Okay. I'm going to want to put that in point slope form because they gave me a point and they gave me the slope. So we're going to do y minus y1 equals m parenthesis x minus x1 and fill everything in. So y goes in for y, and a double negative will make it a plus. Slope goes in for m, and then x goes in for x, and it's going to look like -4. Now, to change it to standard form, I kind of have to go through a big, long process. Like we did before, changing point flip form, I have to distribute. And so we'll have half x minus half of 4 is 2. And then I do want to bring the 1 over, so I'm going to subtract it because now I'm in slope-intercept form, so y equals half x minus 3. And now that I'm in slope-intercept form, now I have to do like I did up here. So moving this problem up here, I should have given this one a little bit more space. Y equals half x minus 3. Like we did up here, we want to move the x over. Oh my word, oh my word. So I'm going to subtract the half x. And then we'll put it in order, alphabetical order, so negative half x. plus y, because it's positive, equals -3. And then, like I did on that last one, I need for a to follow two rules. It needs to be positive, and that's not. And it needs to be a whole number, and it's not. So, like I did on the last one, I am going to multiply by a negative so that this will turn to positive, but I have to multiply it to everybody. And at the same time, the way to get rid of the fraction here, this 1/2, is basically like if I didn't have the divide bar and the 2 underneath, I'd be golden. So whatever the denominator is, whatever the bottom number is, you're just going to multiply by that. So I'm really going to multiply by -2. And again, if I do it to one thing, I have to do it to all the things. So whatever the denominator is, that's what I'm going to multiply by to get rid of that denominator. And then we just distribute it to everything. And so we'll have half of 2 is 1, and a negative times a negative is a positive. So I'll have 1x. You can put the 1 or not. And then -2 times y will be a -2y or -2y. And then -2 times -3 is 6. And so then you are in perfect standard form where we can see all of our a, b's, and c's. A is 1, b is -2, and c is 6. And again, by thinking about finding that slope by doing negative a over b, I'd have -1 over -2, which is positive half, which is what my slope was. Oh my God. Okay, last one we got here. That's kind of tricky. We're probably going to have to practice more of those, I feel like, as we want to be good at graphing it. Now, there are a couple ways we can graph it. The first way that I would suggest is I take my equation that's in standard form and I put it in y equals mx plus b form instead. So I get y all by itself. So to get y all by itself, I need to get rid of the x. So I'll subtract 3x on both sides. And we'll have -6y equals, now these are not like terms, so I'm just going to write it out, -3x plus 12. And then I need to get rid of the -6 that's on the y, so I need to divide it away. And when I divide it over here, I have to divide it by everybody. And so then we'll have y equals, now -3 divided by -6 reduces to positive half x. And then 12 divided by -6 is going to be -2 or -2. Then once I'm in y equals mx plus b form, I can really easily see my y-intercept is -2. And then I can do the slope, which is up 1, forward 2. We can get this line here. Now, a different way to do it, which we will practice more of this as well, is to find, instead of the slope and a point, I can find 2 points and just connect the dots. So the 2 points that I can find really easily when I have standard form are the x and y intercepts. So to find the x-intercept, which is like a y-intercept, except it's on the x-axis, the x-intercept will always be at the point some number, comma 0. And since it's always going to be at something, comma 0, I can put 0 in for y, and that will make the y term all disappear. So we just have 3x equals 12. Then I can solve for x by dividing 3. So x is 4, which I can see on my x-axis, this graph did touch at 4. So that makes sense. Then I can find the y-intercept, which again, I already know it because we already did it up here. But to find the y-intercept, that's always going to be at 0, comma some number. So I can put 0 in for x, which will make the whole x term disappear. And so we'll have -6y equals 12. and then I can solve for y. So y is -2, which I knew it was going to be from what we did before. So that's it for now, guys. We are going to practice more of this in another video, so no worries if you're still a little bit shaky on it.